If you can't prioritize your time in a way that aligns with your values, who can? Who is going to? No one is going to. We have this, I feel like some kind of inbuilt tendency as women that we really easily prioritize everyone else and everything else. And there's some, aspect of us that's like, one day they're all going to notice and they're going to say, it's your turn. Never happens. Welcome, bonjour, femmes, to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast, awakening your heartfelt desires, trusting yourself fully, and connecting with your soul's purpose through beauty. This is a potent mix of real life and profound spiritual teachings that will guide you for eternity. A place for inspiration and practical tools to live a life of beauty and soul, honoring your deepest authentic truth, experiencing your sacred heartfelt desires while saying oui to a life you love. I'm your host, Marino, founder and CEO of Elegant Femme and the Femme Types, a multi-million-dollar business, creator of Terra Paris fashion label. I'm also a wife, a mom of 3 boys, 2 on earth and 1 in heaven, and I'm here to support you in remembering it is only beyond shame, guilt, and the illusion of unworthiness that truth lies. That is why you've been chosen, because when a soul remembers her beauty, she remembers her wholeness. On y va. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. This is Tara Marino. How are you? How are you? So here we are, towards the end of April. We just celebrated this past weekend my youngest son's junior prom. Can you remember your junior prom? Did you go? Did you not go? Did you like it? Was it amazing? Do you remember it? All of those things. I was thrust back into so many high school memories as we were getting him ready in his tux, and also loved the fashion element. Did a whole photo shoot for him prior to him leaving the house. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But still, really, the time, where does it go? And we all know this, right? We all know that life is short. We all know that time passes quickly, especially it seems like as we get older. And so I want to bring forward today a specific conversation around this. And this is the vibe that's been going on inside of Elegant Femme for a while now. So let's deepen it. So, all right, my intention in today's episode is to really support you in contemplating what it is that's the most important to you in your life right now, and actually then moving from that contemplation when it's time for you into a really gorgeous, supportive, aligned action that supports your unique unfolding in this lifetime. Right? We cool with that? That's my intention. So as we move into this, I do want to thank all of you that are a part of the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. If you are brand new to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast, welcome. And if you have been with us for some time, welcome back. I'm excited to be here with you. So the conversation that I want to start is Dave and I. So I told you that we had my son's junior prom on Saturday. And on Sunday morning, we were kidless. My son spent the night with his friends, and my older son is in college, about to complete his freshman year of college. I can't even. He's going to turn 20 in a few months. So Dave and I were kidless, and we prioritized some things that were really important to us. And we were walking on the beach, and my husband said to me, "Babe, sex, coffee, and a morning beach walk, all before 9 a.m. This is like your perfect day." He was right. So, yes, a little personal update on my Sunday: sex, coffee, and a morning beach walk. The reason I'm bringing this forward today is I'd like to support you in identifying what your values and what your priorities are. We utilize this excuse, and it's really accepted by society, right? We utilize the excuse that we don't have the time or we don't have the money to do, to be, to enjoy whatever it is that's calling us. And we put it off, right? I had a beautiful question today from one of my clients in my programs that said, she asked, how do we stop resisting joy? What is it that we can allow inside of our formulas to give ourselves real permission to prioritize our joy? So the first thing, this is what I want to walk through together. The first thing that we need to get clear on is, what is it that we really value? I've said for so long inside of Elegant Femme, and there's a real truth here that I'm going to invite you to consider for yourself. If you are feeling short on time or money, it's because you are not prioritizing your time and your money in a way that's in alignment with your values. It's huge, 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 huge. So again, just feel into that for yourself and feel into that truth. Consider the way, if you're feeling short on time, consider the way you're spending your time and have that opportunity inside of, wow, if I'm feeling short on time, I'm not prioritizing my time in a way that's congruent with my deepest value. If we were, then we wouldn't feel short on time, because we'd be gifting ourselves permission to prioritize what it is that brings us the most value, the most joy, first thing. Now, I know that piece of us that's like, listen, lady, you don't know what my life is like. I have a 3-month-old, I have a toddler, I have a husband that snores, I'm not getting any sleep, I have a team that's waiting for me first thing in the morning. Like, I cannot prioritize my time in a way that aligns with my values. So what I would say to you, lovingly, because I've definitely been there, if you can't prioritize your time in a way that aligns with your values, who can? Who is going to? No one is going to. We have this, like, I feel like some kind of inbuilt tendency as women that we really easily prioritize everyone else and everything else. And there's some, I think, aspect of us that's like, one day they're all going to notice and they're going to say, it's your turn. Ah. Never happens. Never happens. We are the only ones that can prioritize our time in a way that aligns with our values. That's it. It's us. It's us. Right? This beautiful definition of responsibility that I love, that I believe I heard from Stephen Covey, is responsibility means the ability to respond. So when we step into that gorgeous level of responsibility for our lives, what we're really saying yes to is, I have the ability to respond to my life in a way that serves me, in a way that supports me. We can look at the same thing with money, right? You might say, well, there's no way, right? There's no way I can prioritize my money in a way that's in alignment with my values, because, lady over there, right, in the podcast, you don't know what my life is like. I have this bill, I have that bill, I have this responsibility, I have that responsibility. And again, that loving response of truth of, if we are not going to prioritize how we spend our money, who is going to prioritize how we spend our money? So feeling into that truth for yourself, see what that does inside, see what that brings up inside, see how you relate to that for yourself. In moving into this opportunity, continuing to move into the opportunity that I want to deepen today around this conversation. Moving from, not only do we feel short on time and money when we're not in alignment with our values, but how do we know, or how do we define what it is we really value? How do we do that? How do we go about that? So in supporting women for really over 15 years now, and coaching and mentoring and creating programs and all of what we've done inside of Elegant Femme, the number one thing that I will hear from women when they have an opportunity to ask a Q&A with me, or if they're my private clients, one of the first things that I will hear is, I just need clarity, Tara. I just need clarity. If I was clear, then I would do the thing. Then I would know. And I hear the logic inside of this. In fact, I really can resonate with this idea. Like, if I just knew, if I was just clear, then I would. Here's what my experience has shown me, both personally and professionally with my clients, that it's not really about the clarity. Not that clarity doesn't play any role, because it certainly does and can, but it's really not the first thing in my experience that we need to talk about. Typically, we know what we want. You just settle down with yourself right now and you get really quiet. And if I was to ask you, what do you want? You might feel this little bubbling up and then push it down and say, I don't know. I don't know. We go into the I don't know and we say we need clarity more often as a form of protection. What we truly require is permission. Permission to actually say what it is we want. Permission, actually, before we even say what it is we want, permission to admit to ourselves what it is we want. So when we look at that question of, well, what are our values? Because how can we prioritize them if we don't know what they are? And if you just play with me for a minute here and you buy into what I'm saying, at least just a tiny bit, and just say, well, what if? What if I do know what I want? What if it's not really clarity that I'm seeking? What if it's permission that I'm seeking? So let's play with this for a little bit. If you could gift yourself full permission to say, to be aware of what it is you desire and what it is you value, what would you say? When I have this conversation with clients, a couple of different things happen. Typically, there's a lot of emotion. Depending on how long we have been holding on and kind of pushing down our true desires, depending on how long we've been people-pleasing and navigating and holding ourselves back and trying to do the right thing, trying to be the good girl, trying to be the responsible one, you might have a lot of emotion come forward when I ask you that question. If you were to gift yourself full permission, what would you say? What would you realize? What would you admit that you want, that you desire, that you value? And when we move beyond that, what are some of the top things that I hear or that I value in my own life? Time with my boys, walks on the beach, sex, coffee, adventure, desire energy, being outside, the sun on my face, luxury, right? These are the things that I value, I really value. So I'm going to encourage you today to actually ask yourself that question and to be super, super honest about what it is you value. I value my sleep like nobody's business. I value my body, my self-care, my stretching, my yoga, my breath work. These are things that I really, really value. Now, as you do this, as you begin to do this, if you're feeling a little stuck and you're like, I don't know what I really value, because society tells us what to value, right? Society tells us value money, value performance energy, value what you're doing, right? How much you do for others, or how much you do in the world, or how long your to-do list is and how many things you checked off. What have you achieved? Right? What are your results? Like, these are things that society really values. And sometimes it's hard for us to distinguish what do we value and what have we been taught makes us valuable. Can you feel that distinction? What do I value versus what have I been taught by society, mentors, teachers, social media, whatever, makes me valuable. So you got to separate these. I separate these. So one of the ways you can do this is you can ask yourself, okay, you could play with me a little bit more, right? In the play energy. If I allowed these things in my day, I would feel like, so complete. Have you had those days where you're like, oh my gosh, if nothing else happens today, I am like, I'm good. Like anything else after this is icing. And there can be big things that continuously are a part of your value proposition, or it can be certain moments in your life. Like, for example, my book. I finished my book, finished my synopsis. We're getting ready to go to publishers. I'm editing my proposal again. This is a big value to me in my life right now. When I look at my day and I think about, okay, what are the few things that if I allow this in my life today, I will feel so complete. I will feel so joy-filled. I would feel like I'm really living. Really living. When you allow yourself to prioritize your values, you feel alive. So sex, coffee, morning beach walk, and working on my book, spending time with my family, playing with my dogs, having my face in the sun, this is like, an amazing day. An amazing day. So this is the conversation that I want to bring forward today. Ask yourself, if I gifted myself full permission, what would I admit I desire, I want, and what are my values? It's really the same question, but I'm gifting you a couple of different ways to approach it because it might spark some different things inside. And be super honest. So many women will tell me like, oh my gosh, I value a walk outside. Like it does so much for me, but I don't have time. Right? Oh, I want to feel alive. I want to feel beautiful, but I don't have the money. There are so many ways we can feel beautiful and alive that have nothing to do with money. Now, I love money. I love being in that co-creative conversation with the universe and providing extraordinary value to my clients and to myself through the offerings that we have inside of Femme. But that's a big conversation. It's not a micro conversation around, let me just do this thing, make this money so that then I can. Yeah. So this is the beauty of the conversation that I want to have. And I feel like there's so much going on in our world right now, and that there's so many shifts available to us. There's so much nuance in consciousness of how we're being offered the opportunity to show up and prioritize the things that really matter. It's like, I'm sure, I don't know, but I imagine this has always been present, right? This choice and this opportunity to prioritize our joy to a certain extent. But I feel now more than ever with the luxuries we have in life, the majority of us are not trying to figure out, how to kill something to eat it or how to protect our homes. Now, some people are in a very severe situation, so I don't mean to be insensitive to that at all, right? There are different levels of evolution and consciousness about that. What I am intending and why I am bringing it forward is that we have a lot more energy and life force available to us now, I feel, than we ever have. And we require to become more comfortable with that life force and navigate it, utilize it, allow it to support us in a way that really does prioritize our values and our joy. But what we tend to do, because we're not comfortable with the life force, is we, in a way, squander it away because we don't know how to live in the vibrancy of that responsibility that we have with life. So what I'm sharing with you today is that opportunity to begin to live into that vibrancy, to really feel a level of partnership with your life and prioritize your values, prioritize the quality of life that you're wanting to live, and get really open with yourself around what are the things that I value, and can I gift myself permission to prioritize them first? First, before anything else. This is why, and we wrote an email about this today, and the subject line was sex, coffee, and a morning beach walk before 9 a.m. It's not because trying to be like pushy about getting a ton of stuff in before a certain time. It's just the idea, the nuance, the opportunity, the gift of being able to say to yourself, like, wow, I've already lived the life that I want to live, and it's only 9 a.m. What a gift. What a gift. This comes down to what we say inside of Elegant Femme all the time, which is a beautiful life starts with a beautiful day. So getting clear on what your values are and gifting yourself permission to prioritize them first is what I'm inviting and encouraging you to honor this week. Please remember, I love, love, love your comments. I cannot tell you how much they mean to me. I know that it takes extra effort to go ahead and click the review, to give the stars, 5 stars, to leave a comment, and of course I'm open to any feedback. I love to know how this serves you. This is my way of giving back. This is my way of deepening the conversation, and we have a variety of opportunities to work deeply inside of Elegant Femme. Free opportunities like this with a podcast or our master classes, all the way up to really high-end events and exclusive experiences, and even a brand new, very exclusive mastermind that I opened up recently. So if you're loving this conversation and you want to lean in more, there are quite a few ways that we can support you. Listening to the podcast, obviously. We also have a really special Facebook group called Women Living Fully, and it's a free Facebook group. We have our master classes. We have our free master classes in there. It's a gorgeous, very engaged community. I love it. I pop in there and I do live calls from now and then. And then we have up and coming programs, right, where you can engage further. We have our Tout est possible, which is a year-long opportunity to be with me inside of the live conversation with Elegant Femme. And then we have, right now, the exclusive Provence experience. We only have 4 spots left. 4 spots left is the time of this recording for the Provence experience, which is a high-level luxury experience live with me in Provence, France. Includes the villa. It's like unbelievable. So us together living in a villa for 2.5 days, 3 nights, lodgings included, like all the good stuff. And we have a special, really gorgeous travel bonus right now that we're taking off the top as well. So if those kind of things interest you, and you're a woman who loves close proximity, if you're a woman who loves travel, if you're a woman who understands that putting yourself in an environment that supports you from a luxury space, from a time perspective, from really allowing yourself to surrender your typical environment and really engage in a new aspect of yourself, reach out to the Elegant Femme team at info@elegantfemme and we can get you all the details. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful week. Happy Friendship Friday. This will be released on Friday. And please lean in. Let me know how this supports you. And of course, the comments mean so much, so much, so much. And it actually really supports us in continuing to be able to promote this podcast. So sending you so much love, a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next week.